Well, Mr. Ologbondiyan joins us now. He's a former spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, and he'll be shedding light on what actually transpired at that meeting yesterday. I don't know if you were part of it. But
no, I wasn't. I wasn't. I wasn't.
Were you aware that the meeting was happening?
No, I was fully aware.
Okay.
I was fully aware.
What was the meeting about? At whose behest was it summoned?
Honestly, this is not a laughing matter.
You are the one laughing.
Yes, watching eminent party members going before INEC.
The regulator.
The regulator to go and beg her, come and help us. It's distressing. Very, very distressing.
Was that what they went to do?
Because that's what they went to do, because the constitution of the party is clear. And like I've often said, when you make rules for yourself, you must be prepared to run by the rules that you have made for yourself. So it's very depressing that eminent members of the party will go before INEC and say, come and solve our problem for us. It's very disgusting.
Well, what is disgusting about it? INEC is a regulator of political parties. In addition to being an electoral body, it also has oversight over the affairs of political parties, doesn't it?
It doesn't. It's not that of an oversight concerning the functioning of the internal affairs of any political party. It is not. Well, you check through electoral.
Okay, well, yes, the party is supreme.
The party, even the Supreme Court judgment, which Anyanwu pursued, which Senator Samuel Anyanwu, with due respect, pursued to its end, refer the party back home and say, go and look among yourselves and your own rules and sort whatever problem, whatever challenge that you have. So now I'm going to INEC to go and do what? Now you are going to INEC. INEC has told you that it cannot choose your officials for you. Just like Debo Ologbondiyan said at the weekend, that look, this is an internal affair, our own internal affairs. Supreme Court has said that. So whatever decision we have reached as a party, let's stand by it. So INEC can never come and tell us that, for example, Madam Maope, you are the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Sheung Okinbaloye, you are the National Chairman. INEC is not going to do that. It's your duty to tell INEC, this is the person that we have nominated, that we have elected, or that we have replaced with our officer as holding whatever position.
Do you think that they were testing the waters to see if INEC, because there's clearly controversy, you know, in terms of the correspondence. I think that the INEC chairman made reference to it. The correspondence that they have been receiving from the PDP, they said initially was signed by INEC, the chairman and the secretary. Later on, it was signed by the deputy secretary. Later on, it was signed by only the chair. You have the INEC chairman.
I heard
that. So, and it does appear that the PDP has been looking for ways, the leadership, to make sure that, you know, the deputy national secretary, whom they want to act in place of the substantive secretary, you know, is accepted by INEC. And it doesn't appear that that has gone down pretty well, has it?
Marco, let me tell you, it's all politics, and it's politics within the party. Let me explain to you, let me explain it to you and through to Nigerians. The National Working Committee sat down under its own purview and said the current, Senator Sam Anyanwu is no longer the National Secretary. And for the time being, pending when NEC will meet and decide on the report of the Southeast, let the deputy begin to act in that capacity, as provided for in section 36(2) of the party's constitution, where it says that the deputy can be directed to act. So working committee members in their majority opted for that, took that option. Now, the national chairman wrote a letter to INEC recommending Setonji Kusedo, the deputy national secretary, in acting capacity. Then, like the INEC chairman said, after they have accepted that, and in their meeting, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu told those leaders that when you brought that first name, we accepted it in our database, but we have not replaced it. Then you brought Anyanwu again. So when it came to the election of the issue of the Anambra election, since we have a conflict of nomination, we reverted back to Anyanwu because it is the name that's already in the database. But now, go and decide among yourselves whom you want to be your national secretary and bring the nomination. Pronto, you know what has happened? Senator Sam Anyanwu has gone to reawaken the court matter after Supreme Court has given decision. Has now gone to reawaken the Supreme Court in the FCT Federal High Court. And it has been now put in the court of Justice Joyce Abdul Malik after EPO, who was in charge of it, had been suspended. So you just see this rigmarole and you wonder, what future? Well, anyway, for me, I am not shocked, I'm not surprised by everything that is happening, because I have said it in the last 1 year. I have said it to you, even on this platform. Until you replace Ambassador Elias Magun and bring an effective national chairman to run the affairs of the party, PDP is going nowhere. I have said it over and over and over. And it's manifesting.
Well, I know that Ayo has a question for you at the minimum. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Okwe. You know, Mr. Logag, one of the things a good number of people want to know is, look, the woes of the PDP didn't start in 2023. There are those who date it back as far as 2011, you know, and the question to ask then is, if the problem, the issues, I mean, you said something the other time, eminent members of the party, quite elderly, quite experienced politicians as well. If the issues are as far back as, what, 2015, and the issues, the dust hasn't quite settled, there are so many questions to ask. What are your own questions for your party?
There are so many questions to ask. What are your own questions for your party?
Well, number one, let me start by saying that this is Scholar Ologbondiyan. But having established that, I didn't get that question. What are my own questions for the party? Or what's the question?
Because as some will say, and you have also alluded to it a number of times, a good number of times, the questions, the issues predate even 2015. There are those who cite it back as far as 2011 during the Jonathan administration. So I'm asking, don't you have questions that you want the elders of your party to answer?
I'm asking, don't you have questions that you want the elders of your party to answer?
No, I don't have any question that I want the elders of the party to answer. Rather than let us follow the rules of our party. What does the Constitution that guide our day-by-day activities say on every issue? And that's why I continue to respect Ms. Uche Secondus, the total chairman. As the chairman of our National Working Committee, Secondus will often tell you, open the Constitution. What does the rule say? If we go by the rules, we are not going to have problems, except those problems have become man-made. But if you align yourself with provision of the Constitution, we are going to have a challenge. And that is what we operate now. But when you know what the rule says, you are abandoning your own Constitution and beginning to find solutions among friends and committee and committee of friends. You are not leading the party to anywhere, and that's the honest truth. And
is it the rules? My apologies.
In as much as the Magun,
just a second, Mr.
He legitimately sits on the chair of the national chairman, abandoning his own office.
If you can hear me, just 1 second to quickly, puncture to one question. Is it the rules of the party that is responsible for the defections to the Action Congress in 2011? Is it the rules that is responsible for loss of public trust in the PDP?
You remember our last discussion here? I did tell you that, look, there's no need going into revisionism about the People's Democratic Party, and I stand by that. What are the challenges of today? And how do we get out of the challenges of today? I think that is the issue, Ayo. And I'm saying this with every sense of responsibility. Are we going to say that because somebody was National Secretary in 2011, if the current National Secretary, his own colleague said that you don't want to work with you again, so you step aside, let your deputy act. You even went to Wadata Plaza, your own staff over whom you manage, now said, okay, since you are here, we can leave the place for you and work out on you. I mean, what is there now? We were also in this end of the UC. We were told one day in the NEC meeting that we should take paper and resign. We didn't bring down the roof. So what is there? If they are desirous, if they are honest, and they want the party to run its course. Me, I'm talking like this because we're in the public space. Otherwise, I will just sum it up and tell you that, look, there's a design to incubate the People's Democratic Party, and I think I've even said this before, and make sure that it is not effective in the 2027 election.
So
but there are those who are also within that party who are saying, no, we will not allow you to do that. We must continue to make the party relevant and allow it to function as an opposition party. These are the contradictions.
Do you think that the coalition has been proposed, do you think it's a viable option for the PDP?
Oh, no, it's not PDP. The Governors Forum said they are not in coalition now. The Governors Forum has said, and the party, the leadership of the party, has not said they are in coalition.
But do you think it's an option?
But I am aware, and I say this clearly, I am aware that coalition consists of people from various ways of life, politicians, students, youths, people who are non-aligned, who have no political basis. That's what the coalition is driving at. I can say that from what I am.
Do you think it's a viable option? That's the question I'm asking.
No, you know, I cannot sit down here and dismiss my party. I have not left PDP. I'm still a member of PDP. Maybe when I leave the PDP, I can come back here and tell you if it's a viable option.
Are you going to leave, given all that is currently happening?
Well, let's see how far we can go with this.
All right.
That will decide.
We'll see how that eventually pans out. Time is always our friend. We have to thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Early this morning. Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan is a former spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party. Well, I did say that there's a lot to consider today, and you're free to tell us what you make of all of the issues that we have spoken about on the program this morning. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your day.